to Vlogmas Day 13. Today, we are going to do some household chores that need to be attended to. We're going to unbox some more packages, and we're going to make a healthy, delicious, gluten-free version of granola, so we have plenty for the upcoming holidays. Let's do this. First thing that we're going to do is water the plants in the house. I water my plants every Friday, and I take a special care of them during the winter months because the temperature outside is different than regular, as well as the humidity, and so they dry out a little quicker. You'll see that I'm giving them a little spritz of water as well. I usually don't do this, but in the winter months and when it's especially dry, I make sure to tend to them very carefully. Amazon left some packages on the stoop overnight, and now it's time for me to transfer them to a place where I can see what's in them and unpack. Let's find out what is in this box. It's several things. A gift for my son. And a gift for my granddaughter. Let's open these. I got these same socks for myself a while back, and they're amazing. So I bought a 6-pack for one of my daughters. And this is a set of 3 different mock turtlenecks for one of my children. And finally, I received a 5-pound bag of Himalayan sea salt so I can divide it up and put it in each one of my children's stockings to go along with the electric salt and pepper mills that I got them from Sur La Table. This is for my granddaughter and her dad, and they're gonna have a great time with it. I hope. This is an espresso maker for my youngest son. He is an affogato aficionado. Say that 3 times fast. He is an affogato aficionado, and he has asked for his birthday, which happens to be on the 31st of December, to have affogato as his dessert for his meal. So now he is not only going to have affogato on his birthday, but he'll be able to make affogato with an espresso machine anytime he wants. One of the first things I'm going to do is divide this Himalayan sea salt up. And now it's back to wrapping. As you can tell, wrapping is not my favorite thing to do, nor is it my forte, but I am fast at it. I have had a lot of practice over the years with 5 children, and I've learned to get really fast at wrapping gifts. I'm sure over the years that my kids could absolutely tell which gifts Santa brought from the wrapping. Wow, what a great morning. Presents are wrapped, they're all packed up in my car, and I am ready to make my granola. Let's do this. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to toast some pecans and some almonds, and I'm going to throw in some dates just to warm them up so they're a little easier to chop. So these are all the items besides the nuts and the dates that I think I'm going to use in this granola. I want to make this a hearty, fruity, almost a holiday style granola. And I don't have any dried cranberries or dried cherries, so I'm going to use dried raisins. I'll add those at the end. I'm also going to add a little coconut. I love the texture it gives granola. I have these butterscotch chips that sometimes work and sometimes don't, so I'm thinking about possibly using those. But to begin with, I am definitely going to use up the rest of this package of this gluten-free sprouted rolled oats. So I'm going to start by dumping that in the bowl. And you do not have to be precious about measurements here. It just has to kind of feel right. And it takes a little trial and error to get that feeling, but I promise you the margin of error is very, very small making granola. That is a lot of oats. Now I'm gonna add some spices. This is cayenne. It's nice, gives it a little heat. Not too much, but just enough. This is pumpkin pie spice. And while it is not exactly like allspice, it is very close. And I do not use pumpkin spice, and I do not use my pumpkin pie spice fast enough to really warrant it sitting in my cupboard. So instead of allspice, I'm going to be very generous with the pumpkin pie spice. A couple of tablespoons. And I should have put on an apron. I'm getting oat flour all over myself. I forgot the cinnamon. The pumpkin pie spice smells amazing already, but I'm gonna add in a generous amount, probably 3 or 4 tablespoons of cinnamon as well. And then I'm gonna mix it. And I'm gonna give this a good mix before I add the wet ingredients. I preheat my oven to 300. I'm gonna let it cook on 300 for about 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna turn it down to 250. I've toasted up these nuts and warmed up the dates, and a few of the pecans got a little browner than they should have. So now I'm gonna let these sit aside and cool. I have poured about 1.5 cups of maple syrup in here and added about 1/2 cup of coconut oil. And I've been melting it in the microwave just so the oil melts. This is to coat the oats. To this mixture, I am gonna add what is left of my vanilla paste in here. These are still pretty warm, so I'm gonna keep letting them cool. What's left to add is some salt, and I like to be fairly generous with the salt. It offsets the sweet really nicely. Also gonna mix that in before I put the rest of the wet ingredients in. And now I'm going to add this much liquid to this much oats. It looks like it's a good amount. I'm gonna mix this really quick, and then I'm going to put it on a baking sheet with a Silpat, and then I wanna get them crisping up in the oven. That's why I have the oven set at 300 for the first 20 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna turn it way down and just let it dry out for an hour or 2. Awesome, that mixed in really well. See, there's such a small margin of error here that you can really throw in just about anything to granola and it will be tasty. You want to have the granola spread out on your tray so it can dry out a little faster. So I've actually pulled out 2 cookie sheets and line them with parchment paper. So there we go, there's one tray. Spread this out. So this is what it looks like now. I'm going to put it in the oven at 300, like I said, for about 20 to 30 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like then. And now I'm just going to clean up this mess. It has been 30 minutes. I'm going to pull it out and take a peek. First tray. This smells amazing. I have taken the dates and all of the nuts that I toasted and crushed them up, chopped up the dates and crushed up the nuts. I'm going to add half of that to this. So you might need to break those apart a little bit. Then I'm going to add some raisins. And some coconut. And I'm going to carefully mix this all together. It's a little bit warm, so I need to be kind of careful. Spread that out. Move this tray. Tray number 2 also smells amazing. And after I mix all of this in, I'm going to put both of the trays back in the oven and turn off the oven. And then I'm just going to let it sit there. It is several hours later, and I am ready to take these cooled and crispy granola pans out of the oven. Ooh, it's still a little warm. It's literally been 6 hours and it's still a little warm. Wow, this smells great. I love to use mason jars as storage containers for things. They're just really easy to use, easy to wash up, and they last a long time. So I'm gonna start filling these jars. I imagine I'll get 3 or 4 out of them, and we'll have gluten-free granola for days. If any of you are interested in the recipe, it's a very loose recipe. I will be happy to send it to you. Just leave me a comment and I'll shoot you the ingredients that I used for this. I can really taste the cayenne. I get a bit of that salt, and I can taste the spices from the pumpkin pie spice. It's really nice. The dates are still a little bit juicy or chewy. I don't know which is the better word. And the raisins have crisped up just a tiny little bit. The granola is crispy. My gosh, so good. Well, I'm gonna keep on with this, and I'm gonna let you get on with your day as well. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye.